We are very thrilled to have you guys here because, first of all, we're all single.
Speak for yourself, no.
Second of all, we have a bit of a skeptic in the room here, Anna. She doesn't really, believe much in relationship experts.
I don't.
Or let's see.
Naughty,
we have to talk
naughty.
about it.
With all due respect.
So, for the first question, how does one become a relationship expert?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, for me, everything started with struggling my own dating because I grew up in an emotionally absent household. And so because of that, I created like a conflict inside of myself where part of me wanted the love and part of me didn't. And so guess what I attracted? Emotionally unavailable men.
Yeah, that's like a common trait in LA.
Yeah. At least we know it's worldwide, guys.
Yeah, okay. And how about you?
Yeah, I grew up in a household, I felt like controlled by my parents growing up, so I didn't really know what it was to be a mature, masculine man and just to be in my own confidence. And so I broke free of my parents' influence and got into college, and I started learning, had my first relationship, but she ended up leaving me after 2.5 years. And I was very depressed and devastated, and that's when I said, okay, I'm gonna start doing whatever it takes to figure it out. And I started my own journey, studying everything. Got my own dating coach. I actually hired my own dating coach too. It was a man who kind of took me under his wing and showed me what I was doing differently. And then I started figuring out, eventually met the lovely Antia, and then just decided when we met each other, which we could talk about in a bit also, we're so passionate about helping other singles because we had to go through our own journeys and tribulations.
So what's the difference between a relationship expert and a dating coach?
So they're pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Relationship expert is like a little more broader. So relationship experts can also work with couples.
Right.
We tend to specialize more with singles. That's really our specialty. Mostly actually single women.
Interesting.
We have some single behavior questions for you guys. This is called, what does it mean when?
Yeah. Okay.
What does it mean when he's avoiding your DM, but he's watching all your stories on Instagram? Is there an answer? Because we really need to know.
We do.
Yeah, so I'll put my take and then maybe you can put yours. When a guy's just following you, so to speak, he's kind of keeping a distance. We call that typically an avoidant attachment style. So Antia studied personality psychology at UC Berkeley, so she's really an expert in this. But avoidant attachment styles are people who like to keep other people at a distance. They don't like to get too close. Intimacy is scary, right? Fear of commitment. And then there's also the anxious, which is like more needy, both for guys and for women. It's like needy. I want more attention giving me. So they kind of be enemies for each other. So I was actually an avoidant man because I had a controlling mother growing up. I never wanted to be controlled. So I was kind of one of those guys that would also kind of keep women at a distance. We can hang out and play around, but let's not get too close. So I had to do my own work to break through that. So if a woman's operating from an anxious place, she'll tend to attract more men that are like that too. So they kind of attract each other.
Vivi?
Okay. We got some problems.
Hit him with the
All right,
second
I've got one. What does it mean when he pulls away when you're very present and shows you affection, but then only comes to you when you show like you're over it?
That's
the
avoidant attachment style again, right? Because avoidance is really about when they're about to get closer, they back off because they had a bad experience when they were a child. When the intimacy was between them and the mother, right? And when that didn't happen, and I didn't get the food, the attention, the love, whatever it is, they then backed off. And so now they have this memory, this cellular memory that like, oh my God, it's intimacy again. I back off, right? But then when you back off, it's like, no, I want it, right? Because now there's space.
They feel
so
safe.
Yes, there's safety involved.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, I see what you're doing. Okay.
Hit him with the next
Well,
one.
women do it too, but yeah, in different ways, yeah.
Okay, so what does it mean when on social media we're talking, we're chatting, it's all good, but we never make plans to actually meet? Oh, when I want to meet, he doesn't
He
meet.
never cares.
Yeah.
But he always keeps
he's always like hitting me
messaging,
up
keeps
on social media.
initiating, but no initiating a date.
Just like a lot of words, but not any action.
No action.
Right.
Like we talk and talk on social media, but when it comes to meet, nothing happens.
What does that mean, guys?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like he keeps his distance. So everything that you three listed is just like a different
They're all
perspective
different symptoms
of the
same
type.
problem. The same.
Oh, this is all one type of guy.
That's one type of guy. That is one type of guy.
Is that very common? Because that's every guy here.
Well, so I will say that the majority of men on the internet, online dating, are avoidant attachment styles, which makes sense, right? Because they come back into the dating pool because they date a little bit and then they're like, I'm done, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes, and there's no intimacy or scary
Yes.
whenever there's a screen.
Exactly. They can be anything and say anything, right?
And it could be the fact that you're saying that maybe we are this type because that's what we're out looking for.
Right. So anxious attachment styles again tend to attract avoidant men.
But there's also like an avoidant part inside of you because you're drawn to that avoidance, right? Versus saying, this is a turn off for me, right? I'm not even interested.
Did you ever try online dating?
Yeah, we both tried online dating. The interesting thing was neither of us really had a lot of success with it. We didn't really connect, and we actually wouldn't have met each other if we were relying on online dating only, because we didn't actually meet all of our superficial qualities we were looking for. I was actually younger than her. She was looking for someone older. I was looking for someone a little younger.
I know.
This is nice. So wait up.
Yeah.
Hold that thought because we're going to talk about in detail how you
Yeah.
guys met.
So you guys seem like the perfect couple, okay? But we need to keep it real, and we
Yes.
need to know, how did this happen? Where do you guys meet? I want the tea.
Do you fight?
Give me the tea. Give me the tea.
I don't know what yes, we've gone through a lot. It's been a journey. So do you want to
So
start?
we met in Oahu at a meetup group.
No.
So we were actually both
yes.
living in Hawaii at the time.
Yeah.
And she was kind of taking a vacation, and I was living there. And yeah, we met at a workshop.
And you're
What
saying
was
you
the,
want...
wait, what was the workshop for?
So it was like a self-improvement kind of spiritual workshop. It was a
Discussion.
meetup. It was a meetup.
Gotcha.
group.
Right.
So we're a big fan of like we said, not just online, but going to like events, workshops.
Yes.
You find guys
Yes.
that are also working on themselves and have goals and stuff like that. So that can be a really great place to meet guys.
You guys hear that?
And in Hawaii, in paradise.
In Hawaii
so
was
the setting
nice.
also helped.
But we don't say you have to go to Hawaii. I always say that, right? I followed my instinct because something was drawing me to Hawaii. So I always say, look, what's drawing you where,
Yes.
right? And listen to that, even if it's not. If it's
make
not
sense.
normal, it doesn't make sense, right?
So trust your gut. Trust
Yeah.
your
So
instincts.
anyways, then like he actually took me to another meetup the same night, and then he told me that I'm the girl of his story at the end of that night. So that same day, basically, he told me I'm it.
No. So you knew?
Yeah, I basically. I don't think so.
Usually we're the only ones that know.
Yeah, well, I had actually written down a list of what I wanted in my ideal woman. I was getting to a phase of my life, which is a key too, where I was looking for something deeper. I wanted more meaning in my life. I wanted like a power partner to like change the world with and do bigger things with. So it's possible, you know. There's guys out there that they're wanting that.
Okay,
So-
I have a question.
Okay.
Tell us,
Yeah.
what were some of the things on that list?
Well, so I had said like I want a woman who's very smart. You know,
Okay.
we can have that intellectual connection was huge for me. That's
Check.
what I realized. And check.
Okay. All right, what else?
And then I wanted someone who was, you know, I had my superficial stuff as well. I wanted the blonde hair and the blue eyes. It's kind of my type. I didn't expect she would be German though. That was a surprise.
And you didn't expect him to be a bit younger.
Exactly. Not
So
no
there
way.
are ticks that were checked off and then things that were
Absolutely.
surprising.
Surprising, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you guys fight about? What do you argue about?
I mean, yeah.
Oh wow. So I mean, we argue a lot about. We have like, I don't call it arguments anymore. It's more like negotiations.
Ooh, I like this.
Yes.
So we'll have like a conflict of some kind, and I go through a process. We'll go through a process now because we have so many tools. I have a degree in communications, and so I learned a lot in both of us in our journeys. But so I'll ask her like, yes, how are you feeling? You know, what emotions are you feeling? Why are you feeling that way?
You check in with each
Checking
other.
in, we
yeah.
do deep check-ins,
That's
and then I
awesome.
ask her, what do you want? And then she'll ask me the same stuff. So that by that time, Stephen Covey said, seek first to understand
Yes.
before seeking to be understood. So that's what we try to do with each other. So then we can really understand each other. So now we can say, okay, what do we need to shift? What are you not happy with? What can we adjust so that we're both happy? Win-win.
So it's a process. It's a never-ending process.
Yes.
Yeah,
This
it's
just tells me that I
constantly.
need to date a guy with a communications degree.
But at the same time,
That'll help.
what you said about seeking to understand prior to seeking to be understood, because I always have the problem where I'm like, I don't feel understood. I need you to understand me. I need to express
She does
myself.
that a lot.
This is
You're not
this-
meeting my needs.
Yes,
I'm unhappy.
right. Me,
you gotta fix yourself.
Right.
Yes. But then you get to the place where like maybe you can actually help that person do all those things that you want if you just stop
Yeah, because also then the defenses go down. Because if they feel like you're just constantly asking them to do things for you, they're like, well, what are you doing for me? And well, I'm right, you're wrong. And so, but you understand now the defenses go down. Like, okay, so you actually care. Now I want to care, and like, how can we work this out so we're both happy here? What do we need to change? What new agreements do
So
we
we're
need?
almost 30. Is there hope?
Oh, of course. Like, so first
She's speaking for herself.
You're done.
oh my God, I'm in LA, so you're done.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But we always say it's not about the age, it's about the stage, right? So, because I hear this all
Yes.
the time. I'm over 30, I'm over 40, I'm over 50.
I mean, we work with a lot of clients in their 60s.
And they get happily married.
And they get married, you
right?
know, so-
it really is like we need to let go. If you're blonde, if you're brunette, what country you're from, what age you are, all of that, because those are just superficial ways of, we have like underlying insecurities of like not good enoughness, right? And then we project it onto, I'm too German. The Americans don't like Germans. That's why it doesn't work out
That
for
was
me,
her
right?
story
So
for
it's
a long time.
hilarious,
No
right?
way.
Is that hilarious? So we're always like, whatever works, we'll project that onto really the underlying insecurity, which is like, I'm not good enough.
That's awesome.
I'm
They
not
know
enough.
it.